Hello, welcome to DE Andes, a map I've been working on for a bit, for I rather say the past month or so, and it's on the workshop right now. The one on the workshop is actually a pretty old build compared to the version I'm playing, so like what you see here is a bit different from the version that you can download. I'll leave a link to the version you can download in the workshop, but essentially minor changes, layout changes, and some props. For example, these are only in this version, and same with all this and stuff. I'm pretty much done with the layout. Of course, you're never really done with the layout, but I'm happy where it is, so I want to start adding more props, adding some textures. Maybe not adding full textures, but at least some like maybe roofs on these houses to get a feel for what the map will actually look like and feel like when playing. So let me give you a quick rundown of the map, and don't mind the radar, it's not accurate, I haven't updated it yet. So first you have this B lane over to B site over here, and it suffers mainly from the problem of long hallway syndrome. It is just a long hallway, and I don't really know how to fix that in the current build. It used to be, the ramp used to be over here, and the problem with that is that CTs would be able to pretty much just rush up here, get information, maybe get a pick, and then kind of just rotate over here to where it opens up and just hold this angle. So the solution was just to move it back over to T-spawn, which makes the hallway really long, which is kind of annoying because it is pretty dumb right now how long the hallway is. It's pretty much just a straight path over to B site. So I want to try change that, or at least make it interesting. I like the A lane a lot more. You have, and I'll explain what this is, but you can essentially go over here, and there's a bunch of util opportunity. You can throw a flash over here, it'll bounce and then land over there. That's what I've been doing, and that'll pretty much flash anybody holding from over here, anybody holding here. Once you do that, you can kind of walk up here, up these stairs, and then peek. You can throw a nade against this back wall, and it'll land around here, nading anybody standing in this vicinity. There's a lot of options to play it, and then you can, once you have sight, you can kind of push up here, and then hold con. And then this, you can ignore this. This is not finished. It was supposed to be like the Mexico or sewer from Inferno, but it's like kind of beat out by con right here, which you can just move over here, block that entire thing. So I'm going to remove this. Actually, I want to like have an entire sewer system under the map. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I want essentially a way that you can kind of like how do I explain it? Oh yeah, I know. Kind of like how you have the vents in Nuke, where you kind of rush a site, get into the vent, drop down, and then rush to the other site, or maybe rush over. Yeah, maybe to the other site. Maybe it'll pop back up around here or around here. Next, I want to kind of show off mid. Mid is a bit interesting because it's a little bit unique. I think it's a bit different. There is probably a mid that's just like it though that I haven't played before, and that's a problem. That's like 4 off. So this right here is a jump up. I don't think this has collision yet. Yeah, no, I need to do clipping. But these are just stolen assets. So you can jump up to here where you can kind of peek. You can peek mid from here. And the idea is, so I think T's who spawn here, you can pretty much get to here before someone gets here. So it's not exactly something to hold mid early game. It's more so to block the rotation through con over to A site. So that's its main purpose. So if you block this rotation, CTs will have to go through CT spawn to rotate over to A site. So it's more for not late game, but mid game, once the bomb has been placed down, or if you're trying to take a site. Not exactly to fight for mid. But if you're doing a slow push through mid, having someone peek up here first, and then someone peek down here, is a strategy. And of course, you can just like molly it. It's a bit hard though, I think. And so I want to change that. It's also a bit far. And I don't think there's any good way to molly it because it's like an open back, so it will just sometimes it'll just like fly over. So I kind of want to add like maybe some kind of sign, like a signpost here under construction that throw you when you throw like a smoke or a molly, it'll bounce off and land here. Over to here, this is kind of like ultimate. I don't really know what to call it. This used to be the entrance over to these apps. So the stairs used to be here. I replaced it with a boost spot, so you need a teammate if you want to flank if the players over here are taking too long to take B site. To take B site, it's kind of simple. You kind of just run up here. You can check short from over here. You can kind of hold this angle to see if anybody's coming from mid. Once you get over here, you have to peek that like balcony right there, and then you can peek the window and the door, and then you can jump down over to these to have no fall damage. Again, there's a pit right here. I think the first fast, like the fast default kind of plant is right here. So if you want to like do a fast plant, jump down here and then immediately kind of go into this area right here. I think there is no really safe plant. I haven't really made a safe plant yet. But if anything, this is probably the safe plant because when you're crouching, you're safe from over here, and you're safe from there because of this box right here. I guess this would also be a safe plant, but they can see you if they're peeking here. They have like a pixel angle on you. This room is a room to play with. You can either choose to hold here or to hold there, and there's a jump to get over here so you can hold right here, or you could molly or smoke it off if you want to. You pretty much get here as T's get here, so you have to be quick about it. You can also hold this angle, or you could hold it from here. One strategy you could do is, I see what the bots do a lot actually. They bots really like to push up into alt mid right here. So by the time CTs get here, if the T's are rushing, they'll get right here. So if they both charge each other, this is the first angle they will see each other at. So CTs, to stop a B rush from over there, they can kind of throw a nade right here. Or T's can pretty much do the same. They can't really, but they can throw a flash. And of course you have this like a really wonky, this is just to get the rotation time to be a little bit longer. Because what was I going to say? B site is really close to CT spawn. So this little wall right here is there to just make rotation time a bit longer, to make the timings a bit longer for CT, so Ts can actually get through this boring hallway a little bit quicker. They can also choose, I think, the strategies I kind of came up with are to either kind of do like a split mid, maybe 3 go down here, go towards B, and then 2 kind of go down here, kind of see if anybody's A, and then try to cut anybody off from rotating, but I don't know if you can really do that. Rotating times are pretty fast if you go through mid. If you go through mid, you go through con, through this little donut area, and then you're already over to short. So rotating times are really quick if you go through mid. If you go through CT, however, it's still pretty quick, but it's a lot more safe, but it's a little bit slower. It's slower than going through mid. And also, you have to clear more angles by the time you get here. It's a little bit harder to take the site from this side than it is over from this side, I would say, because you have this little panel here. No, I would also say you have a little bit more utility over here. You can throw molly into pit. You can, if you peek out this side, you can throw molly into there, nade into there. You can pretty much throw a molly into here or smoke that off really quickly. And the person here, they can either choose to drop down immediately and take fall damage, or they can choose to go over through here, which might give someone over here a little bit of time. And then, what else? There's one more thing I wanted to see. And then over here, you have this to block any boosting from A site. And then, oh yeah, I was supposed to explain A site. So, save plant, no save plant. I didn't really add a save plant. I guess save plant would be technically, it wouldn't really be anywhere. No, there is no save plant. The safest plant is probably, is like right here. This is kind of safe plant, because you're safe from that, kind of safe from that if you plant more inwards. You kind of have to choose. So in reality, what you would do is you'd molly this off, and then you would plant maybe block like right here. You would molly that off, plant right here, or you could smoke that off, plant right here. Again, this is going to be removed eventually. One thing I do kind of want to add another way you can play A. Right now, if teams want to push A, they can either do it A from here, which requires a lot of utility usage, or they can go through mid, which requires them to fight through mid, and mid is like pretty much a death trap for even CTs or Ts trying to push through it. So if one team gets a hold of mid, it's really hard for the other team to push, because if the CTs are able to push through short, they can pretty much hold this angle for the entire game. Yeah, Ts can go through a round, but if they're smart about it, they'll probably play back here and then peek that every so often. They could also, this position isn't really the best, but it's still pretty good. You can have a player hold here and have a player hold here. So CTs have a lot of mid control if Ts don't fight for it. They're not really forced to fight for it. Like, for example, Ts can like rush all the way over here and then have one guy fight for mid over here, again during like the mid game. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, the main problem, things I want to change is this. The current build on the workshop is, again, outdated. I think this doesn't exist. This is only like 3 wide, and so this is like a lot shorter. This entire area is a lot smaller. It's only 2 on each pathway, so it's really, really small. And I think this corridor doesn't go into here, it goes into here. So, I don't really know how to explain that, but there's like a pathway to here instead of a pathway to here. And this is only a 2x2 instead of a 3x3. So it's pretty different. It plays a lot different too, but this is the newer version that I'll be updating to the workshop once I get more props done. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to add like the roof tiles from Inferno on all like these walls to make it look like buildings. I need to add clipping because right now I'm pretty sure because I didn't add the window right here, you can just jump up, jump, and then jump over the chain link. Not for this side though, you can't get past this side, but I do want to add clipping there. This box doesn't have any collision, so I need to add clipping there. You can just walk through these, it's not even difficult, so I need to add clipping here. I'll probably add like a cone here and then add clipping because it'll be weird without it. I just want to add generally props and just some decoration to give a feel for what the map is actually going to like feel like when it's fully made and the environment art is done. But I like the map how it is actually right now. I like it. Again, really what needs to change is this. This is like, this either needs to go or needs to be updated. I do like the idea of like the entire underground sewer system, but probably not, let's be honest. So please check out the workshop. I'll leave a link for it in the description. It'd be cool. I need some more reviews. I need some more ratings so I can really get an understanding of what needs to be changed and what needs to stay. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.